Today, we're going to run through all of the steps involved in buying a house, but more specifically in Pensacola, Florida. Buying a house can be exhilarating and terrifying, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. But a lot of people who are buying property in Florida and Pensacola might be like myself, who used to live somewhere else and are relocating. That's why this tutorial is specifically about how to buy a house out of state in Pensacola or in-state. It's all pretty generic and runs the same, but it's important to make that distinction. Anyway, let's get into it. Make me a deal. If you get any value or information out of today's video, hit that like and subscribe button. My name is Greyson Roberts, owner and realtor with Boss Properties. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in the greater Florida area or the greater Pensacola area, really countrywide for that matter, definitely give my company a call, text, or email 24/7, whatever's your speed. I'd love to help you relocate to the Sunshine State. And with that being said, Boss Properties long-term sponsor Webull is going to give a quick message. Don't skip ahead because today's sponsor is going to pay you to sign up. That's right, my favorite online stockbroker that I've been using personally for 4 years and I've never paid them a dime. They're going to give you 6 free stocks. All you got to do is click the link in the description, create an account, fund that account with as little as 1 cent, and you're as good as gold, baby. You can sell it by the dip, make more money, or cash them out in your bank account because inflation sucks. Anyway, let's get into the video. Step number 1 when buying a home, whether you're there or out of state, is to determine your budget. Now, you can go online and do a mortgage calculator on Google, and you can kind of do the math backwards. You can figure out how much you make per month. And then you can figure out, okay, what is 30% of what I make every single month? That's going to give you a chunk of money. So let's say you make $3,000 a month. And 30% of that, let's just for easy math say $1,000. So you have a budget of $1,000 a month that you can afford on your mortgage or rent. Obviously, that's not a perfect example, but I'm trying to show you how easily it is to calculate. Pretty sure that's actually $900 for keeping track of math. But anyway, so you're gonna realize how much you can afford to pay per month. And you can kind of do the math backwards and say, all right, if I can afford $900 a month, $1,000 a month, then maybe I can afford a $200,000 house or $150,000 house. There's a million things that go into determining your budget, but once you get in there, you can plug in the most recent interest rate, you can plug in your credit score, you can plug in how much you want to put down, and then it's going to spit out the numbers that are basically going to give you a good idea of how much you can afford. But it all starts with the monthly payment because you can pay more than 30% of your income a month in housing expenses, but I don't like to do that. I like to keep my overall housing expenses, including any maintenance and utilities, under 30%, but it's not the end of the world. So once you figured out how much you can comfortably afford, you can see how much you've got saved up, how much you can put down, and the interest rate. That's going to give you a monthly payment and an overall budget. So that's very important. And a lender can also help you get the more fine-tuned numbers. Now, the second step is to approach a lender. Now that you kind of have an idea, ballpark of what to ask for at the bank, you can go to them and ask for it. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to pre-qualify you. And a lot of people, they'll start shopping for homes before when they're only pre-qualified. You want to be pre-approved. That means that you're not 1,000% guaranteed, but they've done a lot more due diligence on you, ran your credit, and verified your income and stuff. So a pre-approval letter is basically essential. If you talk to an agent, if you come to me and you don't have a pre-approval letter and you want to buy locally, I will probably say, hey, go talk to this lender, my lender, your lender, whatever, and get this pre-approval letter so that way our offers can be taken seriously. Now, step number 3 is to find the right real estate agent. Now, you can do this anywhere in between, but real estate agents like to close deals, right? So they're going to be all over you. So it's almost kind of nice to figure out your budget and go talk to a lender on your own time without someone like me breathing down your neck. But now, eventually, you are going to want to get a real estate agent if you're buying a home because, well, they're free for you. So they're literally, you don't pay them anything. And of course, that goes for me as well. Buyer's agents are for the most part free. Well, who pays for the buyer's agent? Well, the seller. The seller pays a 6% closing cost fee of agent fees. Typically, there's a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of different determining factors. And that 6% is split between the buyer's and seller's agent at 3% apiece. You don't care about that anyway. Go find yourself a good agent. Now, what you can do is you can type in moving to a specific location and see who the top YouTuber is in that. Because listen, if there's a real estate agent making videos on YouTube about moving to their city, they're on the ball. They are doing, because you don't learn this in real estate school. No one tells you to do this in your brokerage training. I mean, that agent is getting off their butt and innovating new leads in new ways. So I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like if someone's doing what I'm doing in a town that you're looking for, then you know that agent is on the ball, they're hungry, and they're gonna do a good job. So a little hack there. That's a quick way to find some of the hungriest, best agents in the city. Next, you're gonna start your search. Now, the reason that you want an agent before you start your search is so you don't have to use places like Realtor.com and Zillow. I hate both of those websites. Listen, the local MLS, you can tell the agent, I want a 3-bed, 2-bath, no less than 1,200 square foot. It has to have a fireplace. It has to be within 5 miles of this specific middle school. I really need it to have a pool, central AC, and no carpet. The agent can find you listings very specifically like that that are going to be sent to your email inbox. So the second that very specific home hits the market, you've got it in your email. You're one of the first to know. And of course, you can go in through the portal and browse on properties yourself, but the agent can find the quickest real-time MLS listings that fit all of your parameters. And if an agent just lets you browse on your own on Zillow and Realtor.com, get a new agent. Number 5 is make an offer. Now, there's not a whole lot I need to tell you here because, well, the real estate agent is going to handle that for you, basically. It's going to be a residential sales contract or a purchase and sale agreement, whatever. And then this is where you're basically gonna say, hey, I wanna pay $250,000 for your house. I want a 5-day inspection period. I want a financing. I want an appraisal and an inspection contingency. So if any of those things come up bad or any of them pulls out or anything crazy happens, I get to protect my earnest money. And that's basically what it says. It's just a big, long document with all the verbiage to protect everybody in the transaction, but specifically the realtor and the buyer. Number 6 is to get a home inspection. I always recommend my clients get a home inspection unless it is a very savvy real estate investor buying cash as is. Other than that, like those very specific situation of industry veterans that know what they're doing, always get a home inspection. I mean, why wouldn't you? So once the inspection comes back good and everything is going smoothly, you're gonna close the sale, which is the final step, number 7. This is where both parties are gonna go to, it could be an attorney's office, could be the realtor's office, but there needs to be a notary public there to notarize. Anyway, you could go, like for example, I like to go to the title company. So everybody goes to the title company, you go in with the closing agent of the title company, and then they sign a bunch of papers and do a million signatures. And then this is basically where the seller, you're going to hand over your certified funds check from your bank, and the seller's going to hand you the keys. So closing is when everything switches over, switches hands, funds are paid, keys are secured, and you can move in. So you might be asking yourself, Greyson, what's so different about this? Why are you making this video titled Pensacola? Well, the thing is we're going to talk about real briefly some tips on shopping out of state if you are, from let's say Missouri or Kansas or California and you want to move there. There's a little more tips to go in here. I already told you how you can find one of the best agents. And if you don't trust that, if you see a YouTube video of some guy and there's only 2 people making videos in that city and they both kind of suck at it and they don't ooze confidence and they don't seem like they could really get the job done, you can call your local brokerage, let's say Keller Williams. You can say, hey, I'm looking to buy a property on the beach. I need someone who's familiar with hurricane grade windows and water rights and sand and all that stuff. Give me your top producer in that niche. That is another really good way to get a good agent. But when buying out of state, for example, if you come to me and say, Greyson, I want to buy a house in Pensacola, Florida. I'm moving from Kansas. What the agent should do, and what I will do, is they will do a virtual showing with you, either Skype, FaceTime, whatever it might be. Personally, I go into the property and I have the camera and I give my honest, unbiased opinion. I have really trashed on homes in these videos before. They're basically private one-on-one tours for this client. I go in, I walk around the property, I go through the neighborhood, I really get a good boots on the ground feeling for what's going on and how the property is and my instincts and how the whole thing is going. Because if you're buying out of state, that can be scary. You might be placing an offer before you ever step foot in the property. So if you can find a trustworthy agent that's willing to go to a bunch of properties privately and film a video and send it to you with their honest opinion, that's probably the best way to go. I do that every week for my out-of-state clients and I absolutely love it. So if you are looking to buy a house in Pensacola from out of state, give me a call and I'll get you some private tours on whatever house you really want. Listen, if an agent wants you to place an offer without either one of you seeing it in a new state that you're relocating, run away. Anyway, guys, those are some tips and tricks on how to buy a house specifically in Pensacola. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Get the free money with Weeble down below. Give me a call, text, or email if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest worldwide. And I will see you guys in the next Boss Properties video.